Hi there, I'm DeDe. In this seated session, we'll do movements to limber our lower body, followed by deeper stretches to encourage greater flexibility in our legs and hips. This can lead to ease of movement, better range of motion, and in some cases, less pain and dysfunction in our joints. That's a good thing. So here's what you'll need: a sturdy armless chair, some athletic shoes, and some water for hydration. Make sure your water is out of your way. You can put it under your chair as long as it goes all the way under. Give yourself plenty of room, and remember, always perform the moves at your own pace. Okay, so join me. Let's come to a seated position. As usual, we'll sit away from the back of the chair, so we have to practice this upright posture without any support. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, and our legs are in line with our hip joints. The feet are straight and even. Now let's start with some wrist limbering. Just doing some easy circles with a gentle fist. So by sitting up tall away from the back of the chair, we're helping to encourage greater muscular endurance in our postural muscles. And that's how we'll eventually be able to sit up straight and tall for hours if we want to. Now open up your hands and do the same gentle circles. It should feel different. Remember not to hold your breath at any point. Just keep the breath flowing. All right, now something similar with our legs. You can hold on to the chair at first as we do some ankle circles. Up and around. Up and around. If you don't need to hold on to the chair, just place your hands in your lap. One more. Now let's go to some tiptoes, both feet at the same time. Up and down. Up and down. Sitting up tall not only makes us look younger and feel better, but it helps us breathe more deeply. That's important. Now let's alternate our tiptoes. So we'll go one and the other. One and the other. Get a little rock going from side to side. A little rock here and there. Starting to warm up through our midsection. Now both heels up and hold, and then release. Let's add some arms. Arms up and hold, and then release. Up and hold, and release. Now keep your heels down. Let's go a little bigger with the arms. Inhale, and then exhale. Do it again. A little higher if you can, keeping your elbows bent if that's more comfortable for you. Notice how it feels through your shoulders. Now, are you still able to maintain your upright posture here? Now let's reach one arm at a time from here. One and the other. Now can we go a little bit over, a little bit overhead, a little bit over to the opposite side. Now keep going with this. See if you can straighten your elbow a little bit more. And if you can, then you turn your palm inward. Four more. Now hold on to your chair. Let's heel toe the feet apart. So out, 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 and then bring it back in. Now we're taking our time here. Do it again. So it's either heels or toes, alternating between the two. And we want to get big motion, big turn in, big turn out. And again, if you don't need to hold on now, you don't need to. Just keep your hands here. Warming up through the lower extremities. We're going to focus on the lower extremities today. The legs and hips. Now keep your feet even and straight and tap your toes. Right and left. Right and left. In this scenario, we're keeping the heels on the floor and we're lifting the toes up as high as we can. Now same thing, but faster. Right, left, right, left. It feels good to move, doesn't it? So if you were thinking, maybe I don't want to do this today, hopefully right now you're starting to feel like you're very glad that you did this. Let's keep tapping the toes and we'll add the arms. Opposite arm. So the toe that goes up, your opposite arm goes forward. So even though we're sitting, we're shifting the weight from one hip to the other, staying securely seated in the chair, but still shifting the weight. We're moving all the way through our shoulders, all the way down to our toes. So even though we're sitting, we're still using our whole body here. Now let's move 2, 3, and hold. 2, 3, hold. Move, 2, 3, hold. Are you still lifting your toes up? Should be starting to feel fatigue, maybe a little bit of work happening in the top of the foot, the front of the ankle, and the shin area. Now let's stop. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Let your arms hang long. Do it again. Up, back, and down. 2 more. One more time. Now we separate the feet out to about shoulder width. We take the arms out, inhale. One hand goes on the chair, and then we exhale and stretch over. Inhale, let's switch sides. Exhale, up and over. Now, just like a moment ago when we had our arms reaching up, you can straighten your elbow here if it feels good, but you know the option, and that's to keep your elbow bent. Inhale, and then exhale. Big stretch through the side of the body. One more. Take your hands on your thighs. You're in the center. Inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. Keep your back straight. Inhale, that's called neutral when your back is straight and long. Exhale. Make sure your feet are a little bit out to counterbalance your torso going forward so you have stability. Now let's inhale. Arms go back, open your chest, and then exhale, support. Hands on the legs. Now lift your chest up, a little bit of lift, and then let it drop down just a little bit. Two more. Make sure you have plenty of space in front of you, out to the sides. Make sure you have plenty. Now hold it right here. Inhale, you're still long and neutral, and then exhale, twist, drop one shoulder. Come back to center. Inhale there. Twist the other way. Let's go again. Forward and twist. Do you feel the stretch in the front of your shoulder on the downward dropping side? Let's do a couple more. See if you feel it. One more. Let's come back to the center. We're upright. We're walking the feet back in. Let's start with a march, right and left. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 1, 2. If you don't need to hold, then you can move your arms this way. Otherwise, you keep holding onto the chair. So we're trying to get the body temperature up a little bit. That's one of the purposes of our warm-up, is to actually literally warm up a little bit. Pump your arms forward and back. Lift your knees a little higher if you can. One, two, 1, 2. That's the tempo. Now hold on to the chair. Let's bring the right heel forward and back. Do it again. Forward and back with the right heel. Now switch to the left. Reach out, flex your foot. Switch back to the right. Can we add the arms? How about forward and pull? Right leg forward, arms pull. And then switch. Same arms, different leg. Heel, tiptoes. Heel, tiptoes. Let's try it again. Right leg. Heel, tiptoes. Can you feel your body temperature coming up a little bit? Switch. So every time we pick our foot up, we're training balance a little bit. Now hold the chair. Let's go out to the side with the right leg 4 times. 4. And reach it out. Point the toe. 2 more. Shoulders away from ears. Switch. Out. In. Let's go again with the right. Now, if you don't need to hold on with your left hand and you feel comfortable doing it, reach out. Toes, toes, toes. Now switch. Arm and leg, switch. Out. Toes, toes. Now we switch. Option to use both arms. Right leg, out, in. We're starting to build some heat here. I hope you can feel it. And then switch. Hello, Prissy. No, Prissy. All right, stop. Roll your shoulders. Did you build some heat? I did. I hope you did. One more shoulder roll. Now, let's slide to the front edge of our chair. So make sure you slide forward and you hold on if you need to. Now, we'll take the legs apart. This left leg stays bent. This right leg straightens out. Now, we're going to reach up and over with the left arm. Notice how my right hand is still holding on to the chair. So we're starting some of our flexibility work now. Right now, you're pointing your toe. If it doesn't quite reach the floor, that's okay. Just keep pointing it. Do you feel some stretch in your right leg? Do you feel some stretch in your left waist? Take a nice deep breath. Long exhale. Let's switch. In, out, hold on, up and over. No matter where you are in this stretch, make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. So don't let this happen to your shoulders, okay? Push them down. All right, let's come up. And then we'll go to the first side again, straight. This time we're going to flex the foot if that's comfortable for you. So now we're just on our heel only. Holding on with your right hand or taking your right hand on your leg or your shin. Here goes the left arm. Bent or straighter. Unlock your knee if you feel pressure there. You don't have to rigidly straighten it. It can be unlocked and soft. And then we're coming up and we'll switch sides. In, out, heel, shoulders back and down. Left hand here or down here. And then up and over, maybe straight. So what I'm doing doesn't necessarily have to be what you're doing. You're doing your version. I'm doing my version. You decide what's right for you. And I'm giving you a visual example of a lot of different things because I want you to choose. I want it to feel right for you. Can you breathe in deeply and a long exhale? All right, let's come up. Walk your feet in, roll your shoulders up and back and down. One more. Now we're still at the front edge. You can hold on at first. We have our feet in line with our hip joints, and then we straighten one leg out. Now watch. Coming forward, hands on the legs, or still holding on, or maybe one of each. Now you don't have to keep looking at me. You're going to pull your chin in and look somewhere near your straight leg foot. So in this case, it's our right foot. Do you feel the stretch up the back of your leg? Maybe through your calves, maybe through the hamstrings back here in the back of the thigh. And then we come up and we switch. Extend and bend from the hips. Hands on your thighs. Can you feel how the intensity grows deeper as we hinge forward further? So that's how you regulate this and make it just right for you. You only come forward as far as you can while still having a pleasant but strong amount of stretch in the back of your leg. And then we're up, and we do it again with the right leg straight, but this time, move your left leg out, and we come forward here. Slide your hand further down onto your shin if you can. This hand is still on your leg, up here on your thigh. If that's too much stretch, you can stay with what we did the first round, which is here. Got a couple different options. This is one reason why we don't want arms on our chair, because it's hard to bring your leg out to the side if there's an arm on the chair in your way. All right, come up. Let's switch. Straighten this one, take this one out, and here we go. Hand goes further down if possible. Check in with your shoulders. Are they down? Try to keep them so there's a big space between ear and shoulder. And then check in with your breath periodically. Are you holding your breath? Sometimes we do that when we're stretching. Try not to do that. All right, let's come up. Now we're moving to one of my favorite stretches. Feet wide, you're still at the edge of your chair. Hold on to your chair with both hands. Slide to the edge of your chair. Let this knee drop down here under your hip, and this knee is here over your ankle. Stay here. Let's rock the pelvis now. Forward and back. Forward and back. 2 more. And then stop, turn the other way. Carefully. Take your time. Drop this knee. This knee is here. And then rock your pelvis. Forward and back. All right, turn forward. Let's go around to the original side, this way, turning to the right. Let this knee drop. This knee is over the ankle, but this time we wiggle the back foot back. Now, not only are we wiggling it back, but watch my back heel. Push the heel away from you. Feel that? That's very different than just having your leg. So instead of simply having your leg in this position, push it back. Draw your front ribs in. If it's comfortable now, take your arm that's closest to me out to the side, or maybe even up next to your ear. Make sure you can still breathe deeply in with a long exhale out. Let's release that. Take your time now, because we just really stretched our torso and our leg and our hip. So take your time as you turn. Starting here, right at the edge of the chair, holding on. Wiggle your back foot back, but not only that, push your back heel back. Face straight onto the side, pull your front ribs in. And then your choice, if you want to use your arm here, if you want to keep holding on, or if you want to take your arm all the way up next to your ear. In any event, you know the shoulders are away from the ears. All right, and then let's release that. Turn back to the center. Bring your ankles and knees together now and cross your right ankle over your left ankle. And then lean forward, resting your forearms on your thighs if you can. Now that's with a neutral spine, of course. So if you're rounding to get there, then don't do that. Put your hands on your legs instead. But if you can come forward with this long straight spine, then you'll rest your forearms here. So depending on the flexibility of your hip joints, you may or may not feel this stretch in the outer portion of your right hip. You may feel this in your low back a little bit. Now, if they're not already there, put your hands on your thighs and help yourself up. Feet are side by side. Cross your left ankle over your right, and then lean forward. And if you're able to, without rounding, bring your forearms on your thighs. Where do you feel it on this side? Hip? Low back? Maybe you don't feel very much. Maybe you feel it in all those places plus more. And then with hands on the legs, we press ourselves up. Now, round 2 can be exactly the same as round 1, or you can take your ankle up here, right ankle over left knee. See how that feels. And if your knee is up, encourage it to press down toward the floor. And then once again, if you can, without rounding, forearms. I really feel that in my right hip. How about you? Let's come up, help your leg down if it's up, and then crossing ankle or over knee. Encourage the knee to drop down. That will ramp up the stretch quite a bit, just as leaning forward will also ramp up the stretch. So if you're doing both, get ready to feel a lot more. If it's too much, then you won't do those. It's so important to listen to our bodies all the time, but especially when we're doing things like flexibility work. If we listen to our body, it will tell us if we're stretching too far, if we're not stretching enough, if we're unequal on both sides, if we have an inequality from right hip to left hip, let's say. That's important information. Sometimes the way we sleep affects our flexibility from one side to the other. It's not unusual to have a tighter side. And if you pay attention, maybe you'll figure out which side might be your tighter side. And then you can pay a little bit more attention to stretching that side. All right, and then we're coming up. Now, ankles and knees together, sitting up straight, tall, twisting, looking over one shoulder. So encourage your chest to turn. Your head can turn a little further, but don't create a lot of tension in your neck if possible. And then let's come back to the center, and we'll go the other way. Inhale, and exhale as you twist. And then continue the breathing as you hold the stretch. And then let's return to center. Now separate the legs, hands on the legs. Inhale, exhale, hinge forward, and then drop your right shoulder down. Look over towards your left elbow and stay here. Now remember, the spine is still long, and you're including the neck and the head in that one long straight line. Breathe. And then let's come up and we'll switch sides. Use your breath to help regulate your flexibility. If you're holding your breath, your body tends to tense up. If you're breathing in a fluid way, it will relax, and the stretch can be more comfortable that way. Let's come back to the center now. Come on up. Bring your feet in again, right back where we started. Feet in line with hip joints, knees over ankles. Hold on to the edges of the chair. Push your shoulders down. Let's do a little neck stretch here. Oh, that feels nice. And then up and over to the other side. And then come up to the center. Stay tall. Lift up one of your legs. Hold on to the back of it. Circle around through your ankle a couple times in each direction. And then switch. All right. So how do your legs and hips feel now? By focusing on limbering and stretching mostly our lower body, we were hopefully able to increase the range of motion in our joints and limber some of our connective tissue. With regular practice, we can achieve greater levels of comfort and mobility in our bodies at any age. Thanks for joining me, but also thank yourself for taking some time to take good care of you. I'll see you next time.